it's Caitlin. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today is gonna be a video about something more serious, something more personal to me, being that it is September, the end of September, and obviously the beginning of October. Today is September 28th, so I don't know if I'm gonna post it today or in a couple days, but nevertheless, September is National, let me look, I have it on my phone, so hold on, because there's two names that I want to tell you guys. So September is National Recovery Month, and then October is National Substance Abuse Prevention Month. And I just wanted to talk to you guys about that because I myself am 4 years sober. In June, I hit 4 years of sobriety, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about that and open up and just have a safe space to share because, yeah, you know, like making funny videos, making these type of reaction videos is really nice for me, and it takes my mind off a lot of things that I think about and worry about, you know, and stress about, because it's an inevitable part of life. But, you know, I used to not be like I am now. I used to be a very different person, and it was because I was addicted to prescription pain medication. And I was for a very, very long time. I'm only 29. You know, I'll be 30 in November. But when I was 17, I was prescribed pain medication. And I'm not going to say the specific name. Maybe if you guys want to hear more, I can talk about it more in depth in another video. But I was prescribed prescription pain medication when I was 17. And at that time, you know, I'm pretty sure my dad was administering it to me. So, you know, he would have the bottle and then give it to me and so forth and so on. So that wasn't abusive. But after being on it, you know, for a year, I'm already addicted. You know, your body is already addicted once it's like 21 days. It takes 21 days to form a habit. And I was already addicted. And I do have chronic pain. I do have health issues that do cause me pain, still cause me pain. And, you know, that's why the doctor prescribed it to me. But I was so young. I was 17. And then, you know, after a year, I'm 18. And I wanted to take my prescription responsibility for myself instead of my dad administering it to me. So, you know, still seeing the doctor, still taking the medication, you know, whatever. But then twice a day wasn't enough, right? Because my body had gotten used to it. So I went back to the doctor, a different doctor, because I couldn't see that doctor that I had originally prescribed it to me because now I wasn't a minor anymore. So have a new doctor, go through all the steps. They also prescribe me or renew the prescription just in their name, you know. But this time they gave me 4 a day. So I'm 18 years old, 4 pain medication pills a day, every day. That's what I was prescribed. So that's double what I was taking, right? And mind you, I full-heartedly believe that I have never gotten high from the prescription pain medication. Like, I genuinely needed it. I genuinely still need it, if I'm being honest. But I full-heartedly believe I never got high. You know, like when you hear people talk about how they took prescription medication and they're just like they were on H or something. I've never done H. I've never done anything else like that. But I have never felt those side effects. I've never felt that way. It took away my pain and it allowed me to move my body normally. And I wasn't in pain. I was able to get up out of bed. I was able to walk. I was able to, you know, pick up the house. I was able to do all of those things and be pain free. So it was like magic to me. And slowly, the 4 a day wasn't enough because my body had grown tolerance to that. And so that's when I started abusing the medication. Instead of 4 a day, I was like, well, maybe I can take one extra today. Maybe I can take one extra, and then, that'll just mean one day I'll have to take only 3, right? That quickly, not slowly, I can't lie, that quickly turned into taking 8 a day. Then 8 wasn't enough. Then taking 10 a day. Then before I know it, I'm taking 120 pills in 10 days, and that went on for a long time. I was just circling myself, like, trying to catch up. I would take all my medication in 10 days. And then my grandma, she knew, God bless my grandma too. Both of my grandmas, actually, I put them in terrible positions. They got pain medication as well because they're older, they have issues as well. And they knew that I had pain. They know that I have pain. And so they would supplement me because I would lie, and say, oh, well, I lost however many, and they would give them to me. So I was just constantly chasing my own tail, trying to replenish what I had depleted because I was overtaking them and abusing them. And like I said, that went on for many, many years. And then I had my children, right? And when I was pregnant with my children, I didn't take the medication. I just had to deal with the pain, and and it was easy for me. It was easy for me to stop. I don't even think I had any withdrawal symptoms, which is bizarre to me. But I was pregnant with my son, didn't use any medication. As soon as I was able to, I was back on it. Same with my daughter. Didn't use when I was pregnant. As soon as I was able to, I was back on it. And I had gotten out of a relationship with their dad, who is now my husband. But I had gotten out of a relationship with him, and I had put him in many bad situations because while we were together and I was in my addiction, I would take all of my prescription and then have medication from my grandma's, and then his aunt also was thinking, they're thinking that they're helping me out, not knowing that they're enabling me and supporting my habit because I didn't tell anybody that I had an issue. Only my boyfriend at the time, he only knew because we lived together. And we were, together for so long. So if we didn't live together, he wouldn't have known either. Nobody knew. Not my parents, not my best friend, nobody. Because again, I didn't exhibit those behaviors, like a drug addict. But I was heavily addicted, heavily abusing the medication. And, I put him in bad situations where I was out of every medication, had to wait until the next the beginning of the next month, and I was asking him to find them and getting mad and upset and, yelling and throwing a fit and screaming because I was starting to feel sick and I didn't want to go through withdrawals and being terrible to everybody around me because I was feeling like shit, but I knew that I couldn't say anything because then they would look at me like, what the fuck are you doing? And I left that relationship, that relationship ended then. I moved out with my kids to my parents, and I was still heavily addicted. And I was using all of the money that I had to buy pills off the street. Like $600 at a time I was spending buying these pills just to supplement the prescription that I had. And I just remember feeling so ugly and feeling so ashamed of myself and embarrassed and just terrible. Like I was a bad mom, like I was a bad person, and but I was also scared to ask for help. I was scared because nobody knew, like I said. And I didn't want to be looked at like I was less than, or like I was a second class citizen or dirty or something because I was struggling. And I was with, I was not babysitting. I was house watching my best friend's house. And my ex-boyfriend at the time had come over to get the kids because I was starting to withdraw. And I told him, you need to come get the kids. I cannot, like, I'm getting sick. I can't. I need to be alone. I just can't. And he came over and got them. And then we got in an argument, and he was out on the street and he called me a drug addict. He yelled in the middle of the street that I was a drug addict. And I was so embarrassed. And just him saying that to me, because he had never said anything like that to me before. Him yelling that just hit me. It just clicked to me that I was a drug addict. You know, like constantly counting the medication I had. That didn't ring a bell to me that I was an addict. Going through withdrawals if I didn't have any medication, you know, if I didn't have medication every 4 hours. That wasn't a red flag to me. I didn't see anything wrong with it. You know, seeking outside sources of medication, blew it off. You know, having a bad attitude, causing fights, not feeling my emotions, being in denial that I had a problem didn't seem like an issue to me because I didn't have a problem. I wasn't that kind of person. You know, I've been told my whole life, not, you know, these things are bad for you and don't be that kind of person. Don't become that person. But I was. And the day after that argument happened with my then ex-boyfriend, I decided to seek treatment. And I don't know if they have this place everywhere or if it's only in Northern California, but it's a place called Aegis, Aegis, Aegis. And it is a medication-based therapy. They give you Suboxone, mostly Suboxone now for people who are newly entering the program. But they do offer methadone as well. But I went there. I was so sick, so sick. And honestly, I was just tired. And I knew I needed help. So I went there, did the intake and everything, started my program, was taking the medication, and it was wonderful. And I knew that I had to do it. It wasn't even necessarily that I wanted to, because I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't want to. I could have gone my whole life taking prescription pain medication because it didn't affect me like other people. Like, I think the amount that I was taking, when I tell you guys I was taking 25 to 30 pills a day, I'm not bullshitting you at all. And, you know, I didn't want to stop, but I knew in order to be a better me and be the person that I am, you know, I had come so far away from myself, I didn't recognize me anymore. And I wasn't feeling any emotions, you know. I wanted to be able to be there wholeheartedly for my children and, you know, just be a better me. I just wanted to be free of what I felt was holding me down. Like, I felt like I literally had shackles, you know, just tying me to this one spot in the middle of an empty room, and I was screaming for help, and the only one who could help was me. And I started the treatment, you know, and it was just amazing. Like, I started being able to feel my emotions after the, you know, brain fog went away, and I started to be able to deal with things that I was suppressing, and I started to work through issues, and I started to, as silly as it sounds, literally smell smells that I had forgotten because I was so numbed. And I was also thankful that I was able to feel my body again. You know, like, I was in pain, but the Suboxone was helping. It helps with that. But all of these things were becoming renewed again, and I was so grateful that I felt like I was rebooting. You know what I mean? And I was in that program for a little bit, but it wasn't really the best for me. And then I was watching YouTube, and I heard about a place called Groups. And my aunt, funny enough, she actually worked at an Aegis center up more north farther north than where I live. She had worked at that facility, and she also was telling me about groups. And she told me about that, and since I had seen it on YouTube and my aunt told me, I was like, well, I'll check it out. And it's an online thing, it's like you do the weekly groups through Zoom on your phone, and it's also a medication-based therapy, and it's just wonderful. Like, I appreciate it greatly. Not only is it cool that it's like online, but there's so many people that struggle and have struggled with opiate dependency, substance abuse disorder, stuff like that. And we can all relate to each other and know that we're not alone in the struggles that we've had. And, though some people's consequences might be greater than yours, because, there are some people in my group that literally lost everything in their life. They lost their kids. CPS was involved in their life. They lost their job. They lost their house. They're homeless. They don't have anything. And fortunately, that wasn't my case. I didn't experience anything like that, but I could have. I could have lost my life, buying pills off the street. You don't know what's in those, especially with the stuff going on now, fentanyl is in everything, and all it takes is one pill, one time, and that's it. And I was scared of that. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys, because it being September, soon October, and it is something that touches everybody. If you yourself aren't experiencing it or haven't experienced substance abuse disorder, somebody has, it touches everybody, unfortunately, in this day and age in some way. And there are things that we can do to help each other, to help ourselves, to make our lives better and take those steps. And if you guys need it or somebody needs it, I highly recommend Groups Recover. It's an app you can download on your phone. And okay, so if you need the number, it's 888-424-0115. If you or anybody needs it, call that number and they'll help you. All right, guys, that's all I have for this time, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.